Hell yeah.
Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Piper Academy. I'm super excited to be hosting today's show. Unfortunately, Piper is going to be out, but don't you worry, he might have a little cameo / guest appearance. Let's go ahead, get this started. Classes in session. Yo, welcome back. We're about to get this party started, but I got to bring on my co-host, the doctor of TA, the master of spaghetti, my man, the OC guy. Let's get it. Bring on up the duo cam. There he is.
What's up, Trifly? Welcome. Thank you so much for that very warm welcoming and that great introduction. Again, brother. Thank you. How's it going?
Yeah. It's good, man. I'm ready to get this party started. I got ZTS rhythm in the background running the show, which makes my life so much easier. So we got a lot to talk about today because we had some news drop this morning that I got to be honest, if I had an emoji, mind blown. All right, so we came into this week. Let's go ahead and pull it up because I got it up right now. Let's take a look at it. All right, so some job numbers came out this morning. Non-farm payrolls, that was previously 165K. The consensus or forecast number, consensus was 185, but the forecast was 151. Our actual numbers that we got were 272K. So it's not really aligning with what we were expecting coming into this, right? Because we had what was bad numbers, even though realistically it was good for investments and that was going to make Papa Powell happy. And then we also, now we're looking at the unemployment rate, which is up. It's up to 4%, and the consensus on that was 3.9%. So like it was trending in a completely different direction. So now we have this almost conflicting information. So let's go ahead, let's go back to dual cam real quick, and let's kind of like talk about this and try to figure out what is going on, and then how do we think this is actually going to affect the market. And I don't know if Piper's on in the background. I think he might be on his cell phone. I know we were trying. He's here. He's here. The man, the myth, the legend, Army Piper. Let's hear what you got to say about this, because I'll be honest, there it is. I'm a little confused.
Hey, bro, look, that's why I put the thumbnail out this morning. If you guys don't know, I'm traveling right now today, so they've got the live show, but I'm here calling in because these numbers dumbfounded me so much. We had weakening job reports all week long. We had the data come out this morning. We get non-farm payrolls, right? But unemployment, 4%. We're up 0.1%. That means we've gone higher, more unemployed, right? And then on top of that, the participation rate has actually dropped. So it's showing that the number of people participating in the labor force dropped by 0.2%. You can see that under participation rate on that chart, which I'm sure you'll show in a second. And then we had the average hourly earnings that was supposed to be lower. It actually came in higher, which is a little odd. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, non-farm payrolls jumps up where it was forecasted as low as 151,000. Came in at 272, like over 100,000 more than what it was previously in the month prior. And that doesn't make sense. How can you have lessening job numbers all week long, and then all of a sudden you get this one little tidbit of info that comes in at 272,000? Now, I do find it interesting that if you go and look at what the TA Tim just posted a little while ago, and he actually reshared one of the things that someone had said here. It was Zero Hedge. He said full-time workers down 625,000 jobs this week. Part-time workers plus 286,000 jobs this week. And so that explains where the 4% went higher. Absolutely. But for some odd reason, this one non-farm payroll number is just an anomaly that doesn't match up with the video. Don't match the audio. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I agree. And so now that we have this conflicting information, it's like how do you think that's going to move the market? And you saw, a nasty little wick this morning once everything dropped, but it seems to be holding strong, but I guess we're going to have to look at the DXY, see how that was affected because it is kind of flirting with resistance right now. So, there should be that inverse correlation. We'll talk about that a little bit, but yeah, it's just kind of wild. And I gotta give a little shout out to Eric Wallen, man. He said we need a Piper bobblehead to put on the screen. And hard facts, bro. That's hilarious. So yeah, when we have people, I guess, call in on the phone, I know it's kind of a rare occurrence. That would be hilarious. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna run through the chat here. Let's go ahead and get some shout outs to Ninja Glock, Nancy Crow. How you doing? Alexander G, best mod in the house. Justin Eubanks, my man. How you doing? Crypto Polio, Cluck Cluck Harp, Trucks of Crypto, my man. Working it in the background. The dude is he's the one that keeps it going, baby. All right, Tesla Pilot, how you doing? Biomax, what's up, brother? How you doing? I'm glad you made it. Mike Play, who else we got? Username Billy Goat Tails. Yeah, that's bio working both. I appreciate you, man. You're gonna come in here and drop double likes on us. That's mad love. And Tuesday nights, we're always there representing. All right, let's keep this going. Donato Cabrera. I don't even know if I got it right, man. I'm going to keep working it, though. One day, if you get on in the Discord, teach me how to say your name correctly. Brokoshi No Dinero. What's up, man? How you doing? OC guy. Amy Lives Crypto. Eric Wallen gave you a little shout out already. C90 for the win. And Lunar Moon Rocket. First time here. Welcome. How you doing? Hey, thank you for coming. Thank you for spending a little time with us. You're going to see how we roll today. Alex O Crypto, how you doing, brother? My brother from another mother. Mad love to Alex. He's got a wonderful show and community. If you guys get over there, his community, I think personally, is probably one of the best. I'm gonna have to say second to the alumni, right? I got to be a little biased, but I love that group. I stop by over there every once in a while just to say what's up because I really do enjoy mixing it up with those guys. And Alex is he's a good dude. So if you got the time, get over there, check Alex out, as well as Amy Lives Crypto. Her channel's growing and she's doing some really good work. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get over to Coin Market Cap. We're going to look at the Fear and Greed Index, which is currently sitting at 65. So you can see that's trending down just a little bit, which is interesting. It's still in greed, but we're kind of starting to trend more towards a neutral position. But to be honest with you, that's a little surprising because it has moved up and it's holding steady right around 71 to 72K. So I would think it'd be a little bit higher, to be honest with you. But let's go ahead and look at the global crypto market cap, which is sitting at 2.63 trillion, which is down 0.25%. No big deal there. Total crypto market cap volume over the last 24 hours is 81.77 billion, which is an increase of 7.53%. And Bitcoin dominance is currently at 53.28%, which is a very small increase of 0.15%. Let's go ahead and look at your top 10 tokens. Bitcoin is up 4.27%. 3% now over 7 days. Ethereum is up 0.19%. It's been kind of a slow move for Ethereum after the ETF. It's almost been kind of a nothing burger. So I think it might have been one of those buy the new, sell the event kind of deals. BNB, that has been ripping, by the way. BNB is up 18.21%. I do think OC has a couple bucks in BNB, if I remember correctly. Solana's up 1.48%. And XRP, the old stable coin, hasn't done anything. Dogecoin, we talked about that. We gave Dogecoin a little bit of love yesterday. We think in the future we could see some movement for Dogecoin. Toncoin up 16.25%. That has been a big mover over the last few months, really. It's sitting at an $18 billion market cap right now, which is quite insane. Cardano still holding in the top 10. It is up 6.66%. So nice little move for Cardano. Always slow to make its moves, but it's still in there. and it is holding strong. All right. So the Kabisi letter, let's get over to that. So we kind of already talked about it a little bit, but here's Kabisi's take on it. U.S. economy adds 272 million jobs in May above expectations, and the unemployment rate rose 4% above expectations of 3.9. Still, the economy has added jobs for 41 consecutive months. All of the data continues to suggest that the labor market is strong. Now, remember, the labor market is actually Papa Powell is looking for a weakening labor market, right? That's part of one of the criteria for them to actually start getting into rate cuts. So, what does that mean for us? We may not see rate cuts for a little bit longer. So, keep that in mind because it is kind of that inverse relationship there. Over to the crypto bubbles. Let's look at the last week here. Actually, let's go to the last day. All right, let's see what's ripping. High up 24.8%. Jasmy's up 11.1%. We've been talking about Jasmy quite a bit, so it's kind of an off token. This one, it has some pretty good founders. If you don't know the history or a little bit of the background on Jasmy, I want to say it was prior like Sony. It was upper level leadership. I don't know how high they were in Sony, but they basically branched off, made this Jasmy token. They do have deals with Honda and some of the bigger manufacturers out there in Japan. This is a Japanese based crypto. So not active is up 5.7%, VAR up 8.4%. And Carrot's getting hit hard, man. Look at that big one, 17.2%. Don't really know much about Carrot, to be honest with you, but it's getting his butt whooped. All right, let's go over to the liquidations. In the past 24 hours, 49,165 traders were liquidated. The total liquidations came in at 129 million. The largest single liquidation order happened on Binance, and that was at 4.22 million. Sliding over to the liquidation heat map, I got it up on the 3-day. Look at this. We talked about this hotspot up here yesterday. And, we were also talking about, hey, like moves up, clears out liquidity, and it just kept coming up and clearing out the liquidity. Actually, there it is right here. So it looks weaker right now. Understand that these spots right here were actually hotter when we were looking at them. But as you get deeper into the days, as liquidity builds here, these spots will look darker than they actually were. It looked more like this, at this time frame. So just understand kind of how this works. These will fade off a little bit. But look, we did talk about this area. We said there was the alligator close to the boat. What we said yesterday, liquidity up here. And what I was saying yesterday is like, I don't know if we'll necessarily see a wick up here because we've had a pretty strong move up and right with price action. We might just see it kind of work up. And it did, but it definitely, once it cleared that liquidity, dropped off pretty hard. I think I saw numbers, was it down to 70,000s yesterday evening. So we are recovering, though, not looking too bad. Let's go over to the Bitcoin chart and see what we're sitting at right now. We're currently at 71,500. Not a bad area to be, honestly. And if you're looking at it overall, we are in a bullish structure. We have recovered the range that we were previously in. And, all is looking pretty well. I wouldn't put a retest of the all-time high out of question at all, because right now we're setting a series of higher lows. We're over the previous point of control as well. I still have my lines up, even though the fixed range volume profile has not loaded. This is why I like to keep some of the lines up. You can still see where the value area low was, and it's making its move up. So right here at about 72K, we are finding a little bit of resistance. That's what this orange line is. And then this is the median of a channel that I've been tracking for months at this point. You can see that is potentially having an impact as well. So I'll bounce it over to OC. I'll let them break it down a little bit more. I'll let them put some spaghetti all over the charts for you guys. And let's keep it going. What's up?
Hey, in Discord, I just sent you an updated message or post on X from Kabisi letter. He's actually in agreement with what I've been saying. So if you want to pull that up real fast.
Yeah, I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah, because he's actually talking about something that doesn't add up here. So evidently I wasn't the only one who said this math don't math. So
yeah, I mean, that's the same thing. If I had an emoji right now, it'd be a mind blown emoji. So let's go ahead and pull that up. Give me, oops, that's not what I was looking for, but I think that might work. There we go. Here we go. So the Kabisi letter, something doesn't add up here. All the headlines say that the U.S. economy added 272,000 jobs in May. And however, when you dig deeper into the data, you can see that full-time unemployment actually fell by 625,000. Meanwhile, part-time employment rose by 286,000 along with unemployment rate to 4%. This is the biggest drop in full-time employment since December 2023. It's also the first month with 4% plus unemployment since February 2022. How is this a strong labor market? Question mark. So maybe that's why price is holding. Maybe people understand things that we don't understand. If we're saying it's a weakening labor market, then maybe that might ultimately be a good thing in terms of investments and kind of the stocks and the traditional market moving in a positive direction. But hey, Piper, you're still on. Let's hear your take on it.
Yeah, I think that as some of these smarter investors start to dig into the numbers and actually realize that this is just a painted turd, that they're going to see past the artwork and get to the crap of it all, and then I think the markets will come back out the way that they should be. But until then, guys, you got to be careful because the Dixie is now breaking the dynamic reactor on the 4 hour. It is still getting a pump, so the initial knee jerk reaction to this data looking good is still in play, but once they start to smell what's underneath the Picasso, they're gonna it should settle back down. So
Bro, so a painted turd, that is such a military term. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to use my little audio thing there. Let's see here. So I see +1 for Kyle Fields. Let's see what he has to say. Unemployment metrics are so skewed, they're meaningless now. Yeah. I mean, I think all the numbers that come out are skewed, manipulated, and you'll find that later on, probably months later, they will update the numbers. And a lot of time, they are vastly different than the original numbers that were released. So always keep an eye on that. That's one of the things that I've kind of picked up on as a very big trend. So they give you the numbers, and then
with,
they
with the Regal
what's up?
affair, they give you a
What's
number
up?
with the Regal affair too. It's all like attention in the
Yeah,
land.
yeah,
Here's
yeah.
the numbers, and then they give the updated numbers like out the back door, whispering it to the kid out back. Hey, by the way, we had to update that.
Yeah. So for you that are new here and you're listening in the background, I just want to let you guys know we got 46 people watching right now. Go ahead, give us a little like, show us a little love here, help out the channel. But if you hear a Magic Man talking in the background behind the covers, that is Army Piper. He is the host of the show, and he is calling in on vacation and still showing some love for everyone here on the channel. So show some love for Army Piper. Give him a like. We'd really appreciate that. All right. Yeah, sound the horn. Where was I? Oh, I know where I was. I was passing it over to OC because guess what? It's spaghetti time. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Also, you says, hey, I would say add beer to those odds, please. Absolutely. Let's take a look at how much beer I can add here. So remember, guys, that yesterday I was looking at this trend line, and I was also expecting. You can see we haven't get all the way down here, but we had a very nice. Um, is audio
Sorry.
not playing out?
No, you're good now. You had a moment
Oh.
though. You're Starling. Elon's failing you again,
Oh.
man. But let's go ahead. Keep pushing.
Oh man, thanks. All right, on my side it wasn't cut, but yeah, I mean I didn't realize that. Thank you guys. We were looking, or I was expecting for a full pullback to the trend line. It seems like we didn't had it, but we absolutely had a try to pull to this area. Basically, just having a little of a rejection out of this 71,900 or almost 72K out of the chart. So far, we do have the flip of the ribbon in here. We could be looking for a possible breakout and retest. Everything is not said and done. Remember, right now we are resistance. I will not be jumping into any trades in here. I would rather wait for a breakout, retest, and then with a confirmation or continuation of the trend, I will rather go back in here as we have a confirmation with Bitcoin bouncing up, but still I will be waiting and just moving slightly up my entry here along this trend line to see if we can nail a better entry as we have a retracement, because look at the pattern that has been repeating. We have a week down, maybe throughout the next couple of 8 hours we could have that wick down and jump into a better position. So other than that, I just see that everything is just playing out very nicely. Let me just go very quick to another chart that I have prepared here that I've been also looking at. And this is the daily chart for the huge cup and handle that we have been following all along. So you see that a huge cup and handle, and we have already broken the handle in here for a bullish movement. So it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and off we go. So far, everything looking great. I think we are on track. We're still not out of the blue for a possibility of a pullback. Remember that we are jumping to the weekend, and usually weekends are a little bit slow. So I'd rather try to aim for a better positioning right down there on that trend line as we move into the weekend. But other than that, I think I'm just chilling in Bitcoin.
Right on, right on. Let's go ahead and get back into a little bit of news here, and let's talk about Roaring Kitty again. But look at this, man. GameStop rally sends Roaring Kitty shares to $1 billion. So I wonder if he's gonna, is that the magic number for him? Is he gonna just continue to diamond hand through all this, or is he gonna take some profits finally? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like $1 billion, like I'm probably gonna try to take some profits, but we'll see what the exchange has to say about that. They're actually thinking about, I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to like halt his ability to trade or get him off the exchange, but at some point, like this man is going to be owed a lot of money. Let's see what he's going to do with it. So coming over to, let's actually look at that on the chart real quick too. So it was, I think it opened up at about 48 after hours. I think that thing pumped like 35%. But yeah, I mean, at one point, this man was worth $1 billion, which is absolutely banana land. Let's see here. Let's check out the daily
Just real
hodl.
quick, Tradefly,
Yeah,
hold
what's up,
on.
man?
So Tesla pilot commented a little while ago in regards to the jobs numbers.
Yeah.
And his comment was election year shenanigans with those employment numbers.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we were talking about, right? We think the numbers, a lot of times they're skewed, they're wrong, or manipulated. So yeah, I mean, I would agree. Shenanigans. It's always shenanigans, right? Like we're going into an election. It makes sense. Like everyone wants to look good going into the election, and you can see a lot of the contradictory nature as well, right? Like even talking about like the borders and things, like you can see there's been a flip in sentiment there as well from both sides. So cool. Let's go over to the daily hodl. Here we go. So, closely followed crypto analyst believes that one Ethereum rival is gearing up for a massive gain. So who do you think that's going to be? Because I've been talking about it a little bit recently, probably over the last like month and a half, and that's going to be AVAX. All right. So going down here, taking a look at it, it's basically predicting a pretty big breakout for AVAX. And I want to say that they are expecting something like I'll say the previous time, they're not expecting, but the previous time it had this similar structure on the charts, there was a 733% gain. So that's massive. Keep a look-see at AVAX. I'm telling you, DYOR on that one. Go look at some of the deals in place. I'm very big on that side of it, right? I like Matic because they have a lot of good deals in place. AVAX is very similar, and AVAX works pretty well. That is one of the blockchains that sometimes if I'm sending USDC back and forth between exchanges, I'll use AVAX sometimes as well as Sol. So those are the two that I will use personally. And let's go over to the DXY. I know Piper was talking about that a little bit, and that thing is pumping. What does that mean? Well, that's probably not going to be great news for Bitcoin. If it's going to pump, then Bitcoin is probably likely to pull back, and it might be delayed in that move. But hold on. Here, you see the top and the bottom here, these two red horizontal lines. That's an area of resistance. And if you go back on the charts, look at this. I've highlighted it because it's just something I've been tracking for a long time. This isn't new. You guys have seen these over and over again. This is definitely an area that price action has respected. So I think it'll be very important that if we move through this area, you're likely to see some continued upside for the DXY. If we get rejected here, then if it pulls back, which it is actually breaking out of a channel here, and we do have a smart target as well. So Chart Prime is predicting that we're going to have a move up and right outside of this channel, but that, there is a loose inverse correlation with Bitcoin. So keep an eye on it. Just something you should put in your scan, not saying it's the end all be all. It's not always completely inverse. There's different factors that drive price action, but just keep that in your scan is what I will say there. All right. I think we're getting about that time where we're going to hit up some TA. So why don't you guys throw some alts in the chat for us, and we'll start looking at some coins for you. I'm going to go ahead, OC. I'm going to put it back on you because that is the benefits of running the show, the mouth that's running this thing. I'm going to give it to you. Let you go ahead and knock out the and give me some time to set up in the background so I don't sound like Clown Town. Let's go ahead and get it going.
Absolutely. We have Crypto Pollo talking about beer. So you did call it yesterday, brother. In fact, you can see right here yesterday at somewhere around 8:15. That was around the time that you were posting beer coin yesterday for the alumni. I don't know why we did skip it, but I do remember seeing you calling it. It's been moving. By the way, this is a 15-minute chart. Yeah, because if we take a look at the 4-hour chart, we are basically whatever we have already taken, we are losing it. But it's not too big of a deal because if I can see here, I can kind of look at knowledge or see that I might have going on and I'm going to be a little bit picky with this one, of a symmetrical triangle. I don't know if I would call it a pennant because I mean this drop, I don't know, it's too way out for it to be a pennant for me. So I rather call it kind of like a symmetrical triangle. We're breaking that symmetrical triangle, and as we call, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and off we go. All right, but the 4-hour, as we can see, we have nothing here, so it will be pretty hard for me to make an assessment here on what might be going on. That's why I'm going to go over to the 15 minutes, and there we go, and getting started with where you call it, brother. So you call it somewhere around here. We had a beautiful pullback to this area right down here to the trend line, and then finally a burst. So it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. At this time, I want to turn on my indicators and see where do I have some support. So far I am revisiting some areas of support. On the 15 minutes, I can see right here that I'm within the channel of support that I can see right here, which is also held by this area of here. Remember that this area of my VPVR, it is for chart prime, it is part of my volume profile, but this volume profile is not just volume. To my right, I have overall raw volume. To the center, I have the price. But to my left, that's exactly what I'm expecting to see, which it is the deficit. So we can see a positive number, huge volume, and not going anywhere. Usually that builds up a good base for a breakout and back for support. So looking good so far. We are not bearish so far. The only thing that I'm not liking it at this point, it needs to be my prime score overall. So it is 4. I would like it to go to 5 to have a more stable ish pattern here. And also, I mean, I do have a flip of the ribbon, but I have not yet the break to the zero line. So if you guys are looking for a non-financial advice, this could be a good opportunity to start looking for a possible risky entry for the upside. All right, so again, not financial advice, but also if I draw a secondary trend line from this bottom to this high, we can see that we are right against that trend line. Not only that, we also build up for triprimes, money flow, POC, and a loud order block, not too far away from where we are. So there you go. That's what I got from beer. Let me throw it back to you, Trade Flight.
Right on. So I got ICP up on the daily. So let me show you the power of chart prime real quick. Look at this. Identified a channel that was going down and right. Gave you a breakout. Gave you a smart target. And I mean, that right there, it just did it all for you, which is pretty dope. And right here, you could see too, got on top of the dynamic reactor. We talk about that all the time. So just want to point that out to you guys. It's dope. It really helps you out if you guys are just getting started. I mean, it really, for me, I still use it too, right? Because I mean, I can't track all of the coins all at once. So sometimes you can open it up and you'll be like, oh, it makes it easy. And then the dynamic reactor, I just love that. As well as the prime oscillator down here. That's what this is. It's RSI based indicator. But let's get into some of the TA, and you can see the trend line here that I was keeping an eye on. All right, so this has been here for a while. I just extended it because I think it ended right around here or so. So just extended it out. Well, why is this important? Because you can see that this trend line has definitely been, something that price action has interacted with, and we're now sitting at the 0.5 on a fib retracement. So you can see golden pocket, it's respected that. It's been a great area of support. So somewhere around $10 to $11 is primo area to probably add to the bags, right? So I would set an alert there, because if it pulls back down here, you can see it's showing you that this range is definitely been acting as support. So where are we at right now? Well, this is where it gets a little bit strange, because we're on the bottom side of this trend line, which means probably it's going to be resistance. We're on the bottom side of the 0.5, which means it's probably going to be resistance. Dynamic reactor is trending a little bit down and right. It looks like it actually has flipped back green. Really hard to see behind this candle, but it actually looks like it's flipping back green. Prime oscillator is showing us a kind of an up and right trend, so it's building strength. But I got a question for you. Have you ever seen a consolidation score of 10? I've seen 9. I don't know if I've ever seen one at 10. So that is crazy, crazy high. Doesn't make sense though, as you're looking at it. You can see this range right here. It only broke out once, got back into the range. It's been in this range since, let's call it December of 23. That's a long time. All right. So that makes sense to see such a high consolidation score. Prophecy though is starting to say market pumps though. So if we take this and we look on a little bit of a smaller, and when I say smaller, back to April here, you can see we are really starting to set a series of higher lows, and it's kind of working up and right. So we're flirting with this area of resistance. So let me give you two big numbers to look at here. I'm not going to give you a prediction on whether we're going to break this area, but just know we're at a critical area. So OC retest, right? This is what you're looking for. So this is one of those things. You're like, hey, yeah, Dan, it can go up and down. You're right. It can go up or down, but let's go ahead and wait to see what we get, because if you're at a critical area, then what you want to see, and this is why OC kind of preaches this, is it comes up, it comes down, you get that retest right there, and then we're looking for a continuation of the prime oscillator going up and right to kind of give us the warm and fuzzy that we may can see continuation up and right. Okay, so if it does do that, there's a couple areas for you to look at there. You have this previous little area of resistance at about 13, but I would say the 0.382, that's your biggie. That would be the one if you're swinging for the fences at about 14, but I would probably be out about right here. Let's see what that move is. If we were to make that move, we go up. That's a 7.48% move. I'll take that all day, especially if you're doing any kind of like scalping intraday type stuff. All right, if we do see a rejection though, right, it's very plausible that we see that. There's an opportunity here for it to come back down to the golden pocket. And this is where, like I said, or what I've said before, if you guys are new here, I like swing trading, right? So I like to kind of sit back, let price come to me, and the golden pocket would be an area that I would let the price come to me. So I would just set an alert. And how do you do that? Well, go in here. You can do a horizontal line. There's other ways of doing it. There's like 3 different ways to set alerts, but this is the way I like to do it. So I'm going to mark this area, and then I'll just go in here and I'll add it. As soon as it comes down and touches that area, guess what? You see this little clock? That lets me know I'm going to get an alert. And I have notifications on my phone. So my phone will go off and it'll let me know. Well, what does that mean? Well, I can come over and I can look at the chart and be like, okay, what's going on? Why did it come down here? And then you bounce some of the news and some of the other stuff going on off of that, just to make sure that it's not like, let's say FTX, where that thing's just like falling, or where it, had all its issues, and that's a good reason for the price to come down, right? That's what, okay, well, I'm going to hold off at this point. But if it's a nothing burger and you look at it and there's nothing really going on, it's just price action moving down and we're finding an area of support, then hey, that might be an opportunity for a play. So quick look at ICP, your big numbers right now. We're at a critical area. That's at about $12 to about $13. Very critical number. You want to break through that and look for that retest before continuation up and right. And then this area of support as well. That would be one you can kind of wait and let it come to you. No big deal if it does, because it's been support. So if we break out of that though, that's where you start kind of getting some more concerns, and we actually start looking at setting a series of, or not a series, but we'll then set a lower low. So keep an eye on that. That's ICP. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it back to OC.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. Guys, I've been a little bit quiet because to be honest here, I am trading right now. I do see that my blur is pumping up a little bit and I just went very quick and watch it. I did take some profits on this trade that I have going on here,
Trading.
but also performing a little quick. What is it?
Are you trading right now? This is what you're trading?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm trading.
Yeah, talk
I
us
just took
through it.
some
Talk us
profits right
through
now. Yeah, one of my
talk us
alerts.
through the
What is it?
setup. Like what made you
Oh,
enter the trade? And then, yeah, what made you exit? I mean, it's a great opportunity for some education here.
absolutely. So I do hold some blur. Let me see exactly where. All right, I see it right here. So based on my charts, I did enter a long time ago, somewhere around these areas right here. So I did set another entry somewhere around these areas right here. So my entry point, it's at the middle in here. Let me just make sure that I got this right. And yeah, that's about right. So this is, by the way, my holding zone at this area. It was just looking at this movement coming back down, and as you can see, we were below the zero line. So my first setup, it is, well, we're going bearish because we broke all the way down here. So what I did is I started taking some profits. One of my first profits that I took was right at my secondary entry, therefore taking this part out without losing any profits, right? So I still have the second party here and I'm adjusting my my wallet overall. So what happens now, it is that I am getting out of profits as I start building up some momentum. So what am I looking for that momentum to maybe reinvest? Well, first of all, where's my previous entry? Is somewhere around these areas. Why? Because I do have some support and I can make sure that I do have that support looking at my there we go. No, where is it? Come on, my support and resistances. I don't know why they're not showing. All right, here we go. Perfect. I can look at my biggest support area right here with the dashed line on my indicators. So what I'm trying to do is to at least take this entry that I took within profits, couple of cents of profits, and reallocating it as far back as I can. So as you can see, I did enter right here as I was touching not only the support here or this area right down here, but also as I was flipping up on those areas. So it's not exactly what I jump in right here. I jumped in right there with this line. So I did not cut all the way back down here, this entry, but I was aiming at this center of this box in here, right here. Why? Because it's the middle between the allocation of the previous action price happening, and it had played out perfectly. So I went up, then I just left it, went back down, I left it, and right now, since I am hitting once back again, I'm taking 50% out, and that is because I can see the same pattern that I jumped in. Well, then you can see the inverse. Look at what is going on here. This is the red area right above us, and that is a extreme change between the 20% to the 80% from bulls to bears. So I'm getting a little bit of profits at this area right down here, but leaving also a little bit more in case we have a breakout. Look at where is the next resistance, and then retest. And on the retest, breakout, and the next flip of the ribbon, I'll be reallocating my profits that I took here, putting it back in here. And you might say, all right, you are taking money out of the top and then putting at the same exact area. Yes, but the condition of the trade, they will be different. Why? Because instead of going for maybe a flip of the ribbon to the downside on a resistance, I'm going for a flip of the ribbon to the upside on what now it's becoming a support. So basically, just letting you know, guys, that I'm taking some profits right now and then aiming for a possible breakthrough retest. My consolidation score here is also 10. And let me give you a little bit of insight right here. The consolidation also is talking about the latest, smallest part of the trade. So it's talking about this consolidation. And my prime score is talking about the market structure right down here, or a little bit farther back down, right? So a 10, we usually see 1 through 9, and 0 and 10, I call them unicorns. Why? Because they are the absolute extreme from very bullish or very, I wouldn't say it bearish, but I would say it extreme consolidation, but also at the end of the consolidation. So we either bounce and break, or what I do expect, it is a pullback, and then, sorry, a breakout pullback, a chance for me to reallocate it and then move up, keep moving upwards, especially because we are forming a little bit of supporting here. Nonetheless, I am applying my strategy, which in step number 2, it is taking early profits. Where do I take profits? At the top of the range, or at the top of whatever structure I have at my very first resistance. So that's the key for me to be a profitable trader. It doesn't matter if I'm seeing continuation. When it hits my target, I do move my stop loss to entry, and also I take some profits. I pay myself. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm trading today. You guys caught me right in the middle of a trade, taking profits. Hopefully, that is
All
a
good,
great
man.
opportunity.
All good. I appreciate like the explanation, and I think it's really important as a show that goes through technical analysis. That sometimes we show the trades and we show how we got there, because that's really the point of this, right? We want to educate people on how to get into and out of trades, and it's not just about looking at lines on a chart all the time. This is why we are here. This is why I'm here, especially like this is what I want to do, help educate people, and just make us all better. And it's an opportunity here too, like even with our Discord, if you guys aren't there, come over, chat it up with us, because I will tell you what, some of our viewers, our subs, you guys are probably smarter than I am on some of this stuff, and it's great, like even watching some of your trades, watching some of your setups, because I'm always learning as well. And I think we have a super awesome community, and we're able to be interactive and all help each other grow. And that's the name of the game, right? So let's get over to the chat. I just want to give a little shout out to Joe, Trade Intuition. He's in the chat. He's always pumping this thing up. I appreciate you, my guy. He has a channel as well. Get over there. Check him out. Mr. J, you are late. I'm going to give you a shout out. And Reggie Classics, he checked in late, man. He came to the game late. Guess what, man? I need you to report to the first sergeant. We got some duty for you. All right, looking at some other stuff. Let's go over to Jasmine. I got my chart up here, and I'll keep this one pretty quick, right? Because this thing is moonshotting. I'm going to rehash for the people that are here. We called it down here. You would be up over 400% if you did jump into this. But here's the first area of resistance I was looking at. This box has been up for a very long time. I actually just extended it out a little bit, just to keep it on the chart so we can kind of go back, rehash. We had a little pit stop here. All right, not much. A little bit of a pit stop, met some resistance, and then boom, once it blew through that resistance, it was game on. So let's go ahead, rehash a little bit of history of Jasmine. This pump right here is actually because an exchange was running a trading competition, tournament, I don't know, but the coin they were using was Jasmine. So I can't remember if it was KuCoin or Binance or who it was. It probably wasn't Binance. They don't usually do cheeky things like that. I think it might have been KuCoin. But they were running a tournament, and everybody was trading with Jasmine. So Jasmine went through the roof. I actually got in on this because when they announced it, I was like, oh, that should make it pump, right? Why not take a little flyer? And I think I was up like 100, 200% on my trade with Jasmine. And then when the trading competition was done, I was like, I'm out. This thing's probably going to dumpsy do. Here we are. All right. It fell way down, but we were tracking this because I was looking at this area of resistance here, and we got the breakout, and I was like, ooh, this thing might take off. And so that's what kind of keyed me in on it. And sure enough, it pumped through the roof here. And now we're looking at this area of resistance, and there's not much you can really do here. You can look at areas of volume. You could try to do a fib extension. Even if you did a fib extension, guess what? We've already outpaced that. We're over top of it. I could draw it, but I can see it. I don't have to draw it because I already know if you were to do a fib extension, we're already over top of it. So what can you do? The one thing that I would say for me personally that I look at is coming over here and looking at where do we have previous areas of support and resistance. Here, right here, you got to zoom in just a little bit. This is on the daily, right? But you can see it tried to hold this area. So it was acting as support and then ultimately broke down, retest right here. And then you had that big breakdown. So I talk about that all the time, that'll let you know that it's a pretty significant area. But how do we kind of say, like, how do we get confirmation of that? Well, it came back up for a retest again. I mean, you could say, I mean, it depends on how you draw this line. If you want to say you put it right there, well, then you'll say it never had a close over top of that area, which is a true retest, broke down. And then here we are again. So this line, I mean, like if you do it this way, if you just do horizontal lines of resistance and try to identify areas, this line could have been up for a long time. Full transparency. I mean, I just looked at JYMPA, because it's pumping so hard. I was like, okay, let's actually try to find resistance. And I'm like, that's what I found. You come over here to the price action and you can see a wick, right? So what can you do with this? I mean, there's a couple things. You could take your profits at this point because that's been a massive move, or you can try to keep riding the gravy train here. Maybe just bump up your stop loss, or try to have some kind of trailing take profit. There's a couple of different strategies you could take at this point because this thing is moonshot it. Or the other thing that I kind of like to do is take a little quick scalp trade on this, man. When it gets up to an area of resistance, at this point you may have missed it, but that's why you have to have these lines up, before price action gets there. So quick little scalp trade. You could take an alert, put that on there, just like.
And we'll wait for TradeFly to reconnect.
So. Oh,
There. Oh,
hope I didn't
your
lose you
audio
guys.
cut out.
Everything looks frozen.
You missed,
Am I back?
yeah.
Okay. Am I good now?
Yeah, you're good now. You're good now.
All right, sweet. Dude, I got the little spinning circle and all kinds of stuff. So let me chill out with the charts. But you could take a quick little scalp there for JYMPA. So a couple areas for you to look at. The area of resistance right now is going to be at about 4.4 cents all the way up to about 4.9 cents. That's actually a pretty big range, but that's based on horizontal levels of resistance. So it just pumped through that area right there. So it's kind of tough to say. What I'm going to guess here is there's not a lot of volume in here. Your next real area of volume is going to be all the way back down here. So be very, very careful. It's going to be volatile. You already see how quick JYMPA is moving. Don't be surprised if you get some kind of retracement as well off of that. So let me actually do a fib retracement off of this. So we'll go low to high. Boom. There you go. So that actually, the golden pocket, funny enough, comes right back to this area of resistance. Then you'll get that true retest of an area of resistance. You'll flip it into support, and then that might be an opportunity to add to your bags. And you're probably like, Dan, you're crazy. It's probably never coming back down there. That's such a big move. I would argue that it's very, very realistic that it could come back down here. And we've seen it with CAS. We've seen it with Manta. We've seen it with a lot of these other altcoins. Never thought you were like, hey, I missed the boat. Damn, I'm not going to be able to get into it. It's just pumping. And they all came back to the golden pocket. So do not be surprised if it does come back to this area at about 2.6 to 2.5 cents. So that's what I'm looking at for JYMPA. Pass it back over to OC.
Absolutely. I took a little bit too long in the previous trade explanation, so I'm going to go and move fast. I'm going to take a look at CAS and very quick to Ondo, because yesterday we were looking at Ondo, and both of those are playing out very nicely. So, for example, CASPA, we were also talking about, and look at this pattern, going up, making the downwards channel, breaking the channel, right? Going up, going downwards channel. What happens then? Breaking the channel, making the high, right? There's something not right now. And there's two ways to look at this. First of all, we are breaking back above into this pattern here. Usually when we break back above into the pattern, we have a retest and off we go. Most likely we're going to be visiting the top part in here. Not only that, we also could be looking at a continuation or maybe something like that, like we've seen before in this area, right? The thing that is not right to me, and let me just get rid of this for now, it is the proportion in which I've been scaling up. So this could also be a little bit of a fake out. Let me also teach you how I will be preparing on this. So for example, the area between my previous high and my next high, it is this growth area. So I would be expecting first, before I have a big pullback, this target before I start moving downwards. If I look at my indicators in here, you see that is pretty much the top target. All right. So how do I prevent maybe a possible retracement here? Well, then looking at what had happened before in here, looking what had happened before in here, and seems like this could be the midway where I get prepared. All right. So just in case, if you feel like you have missed the boat, look at that we corrected back into the first week. Where do we have the first week? So we could be correcting back to this area. I would rather wait for this flip of the ribbon, all right, as we break through to enter into Caspa, because your entry was called all the way back down here as we were breaking this range, and this was not new. We were looking at it back at May 24th. So finally having that little pump, guys, do not FOMO into it. If I could give a friendly advice, never FOMO into it. Just wait for that possible confirmation that we have. In this case, was breaking through the zero line. In this case was, and this is what I will be expecting. Look at that retracement and the flip of the ribbon, right? Retracement and the flip of the ribbon. That's what I'll be expecting for a further continuation to the upside. Very quick on Ondo. Yesterday we were looking at this also downwards flag or bullish flag. As you can see, we were measuring this area, perfect targeting here. What's happening at this area, it is that we also got perfect target, but the difference it is that instead of going into a downwards flag, we were going into an upwards channel. Usually those channels break to the downside. It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. We need to be very, very, very careful, especially because right now we are below the zero line. So we are in 2 or 3 more candles. So 8 hours, we will be defining the direction. Why? Because in 2 more candles, we will be seeing if we break up, which is going to be taking us to the top of the channel, or bouncing off the zero line, which is going to be mostly taking us all the way to the dynamic reactor. Be warned, if we're going down, if I turn on my automatic trend lines in here, I do see I have a trend line base E. So I could be going down, going for a secondary retest, and then I need to update my analysis based on my prime score and my oscillator. So, all right, I said that we can go up or down, but the key is going to be your oscillator. Are we bouncing off the zero line or making through that zero line? Other than that, turn it back to you, TradeFly.
Right on. So I got VeChain up on the weekly. Let's go ahead and start here. It's been, I think, a little while since I've looked at VeChain. So got that up, and you can see there is a bullish structure here. Up and right movement looks pretty good. I did put up a fib retracement on the weekly. I usually like to work off the daily, but just kind of zooming out and take a little look see, because I had this support level, and I was like, why did I draw this? Well, once I zoomed out a little bit, I was like, oh, that's kind of easy to see. You have resistance, you have retest, popped off here, came down, tried to find, or not try, I just went through, came up for the retest as resistance again, and then ultimately it broke down. And then here we are current day. And now this area, it looks like it wants to act as support. So this is almost exactly what I was just talking about, right? You have a coin that moves up and right really hard. You think you missed it, and you're like, I may never be able to get back in. Well, here you go. It came back down here to this support area. This is what I talk about when I'm saying, hey, flip the resistance into support. Well, that's pretty much what it's trying to do right now. You can see this area is holding up pretty well as support. So this could be actually an opportunity on VeChain. You're at the 0.5. That's a good sign. You're on top of the dynamic reactor. That's a good sign. And it's just an identified area of support, which is this horizontal green line. You got 3 things lining up. One last key that I would like to see is this oscillator start to bend up and right, which it looks like it wants to do. So if we get all those things lining up, we got market pumps, prime score 7, everything is looking all right for me on VeChain. And then this is, let me go ahead and draw it. Kind of want to see the, just doesn't want to cooperate. Let's try it from this side. It's just not working at all. It's just doing little dots. There we go. There we go. All right. So that's kind of what I want to see. I want to see that trend up and right. And then hopefully V-chain will continue its movement up and right now. So this is kind of the trend that I see. Pumps up, pulls back, pumps up, pulls back. And then we would look for some movement to continue up and right along with the rest of the market here. So you'll see a lot of the altcoins kind of looking the same. So let me go ahead and actually give you numbers here. This support level is at 3.34, we'll say, or 3.4 cents. 3.4 cents is kind of your area to look at here. If it does pull back to the golden pocket on the weekly, which is significant, you're looking at 2.9 to 2.7 cents. Not a bad area, but that puts you underneath all this. So I would feel I wouldn't feel as good about this area, only because you may get into this where you're kind of using this now as resistance, vice support, and you know it's going to be a strong area. So be very, very careful if it does fall through here. If it doesn't, and we continue this up and right movement, 3.8 to 3.9 cents is very much in play. And we could be coming up to the 0.236 up to about 4.4 cents. That's all well in play. If this area right here, I think it's a critical level, to be honest with you. I think it's a very critical level. If this holds up, then I think all of this is in play. And then, yeah, it could be some continuation up and right. So keep an eye on V-chain. I think time now is probably a decent time to look at V-chain. Just personal opinion there. Do your own research, not financial advice. Do not do as I do, because I do a lot of crazy stuff sometimes. All right, so it is about 7:28. I think if you can keep one pretty short here, OC, squeeze one in for maybe a quick minute here. Yep, you're a minute man. Sorry. If you got it in you, go ahead and go for it.
Yes. So I want to pull up one of my favorite coins along Alexo Crypto's coins, which is Woost. So Woost has been moving very nicely. By the way, we were looking at this today in the morning. I sent a picture to him that Woost was making a move, a plus 16%. We've been taking a look at, by the way, Woost is a name that we call them, but it's wormhole, W, right? So if you read it, Woost. So there we go. We have a breakout right now. It's moving forward. It's pumping. It has a very nice pump. And also it seems like the goose head is playing out there. We do have a bearish diversion, so be careful as we keep moving forward upwards, because we could be flipping back down and then push a little bit higher, basically making a further continuation of that bearish divergence. Other than that, if we break this pattern, this trend line that I have drawn here for you guys, this one, we are at the next up level and we're going for the retest, and off we go, because at that point we were gonna be breaking the megaphone formation. So at this point, I want to wait for some confirmation. If I bring on my chart prime right here, up here, you'll see that I'm also breaking out not only from a megaphone but from a rising channel. Those are some good news. Waiting for the retest, possible next pump as we have the retest. So there's a little nugget under a minute. Turning it back to you, brother.
That's it, man. Let's go ahead. Yeah, we're at the duo cam here. Let's go ahead and close this out. I'm sure you have something. If people hit the like button, there is definitely something that is about to happen. So go ahead, enlighten us, OC guy. Let's hear it.
Absolutely. We can go very quick to my charts. Guys, please click that like button, because for today, I do got a very great surprise. If we take a look at my charts right now, can we look at them? There we go. There we go, guys. So, guys, just a quick reminder: check your 710 cap of your of your card, please. Right? Make sure that you click that like button, because today might be the day when you find the elbow grease on discount. All right, and as you can see, your 710 cap does require some elbow grease to be applied there. So make sure you click that like button, and then you'll find that elbow grease on discount. So it's right next to the blinker fluid.
There it is. There it is. All right, let's close this one out. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. We truly appreciate it. Zach, thank you for running this in the background. You just made my life so much easier. And, I'm not sitting here thinking about everything I got to do, which frees me up, dude. Much, much appreciated. Thank you. Hey, Piper's going to be back here soon. My man is coming back from vacay here very shortly, and we are going to do a giveaway next Friday. So be expecting that. If you guys are not in the Discord, if you're not members, there's your opportunity. Go ahead and join on. You got 1 week to do it, and then we are going to do a $100 giveaway. I can't remember which coin. We'll talk more about that, which coin we're actually going to do. And then after that, we might start doing some swag giveaways here for you guys with In and Out Crypto, which is down in the details below as well. So with that being said, we love you guys. Have a great weekend, and we are getting out of here. Take care.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. No school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off to get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!